Hello, everyone, and welcome to our STEM Spotlight. My name is Rebecca Gibney. I'm the coordinator of professional learning at Blast Intermediate Unit 17, and I am fortunate today to be joined virtually, I guess, through the Zoom world. It is also a snow day. We were just talking about this, but I am here with Emily Bayuk. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Perfect. And Bucknell student, senior. I don't want to steal the show. She's going to tell you all about herself here in a second, but talking about females in STEM and the importance of females in STEM fields moving forward. And we're just going to highlight Emily here. So Emily, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. So, I'm a senior electrical engineer at Bucknell University. And I recently just came out with my book series called The STEM Diaries, which I handwrote and illustrated to inspire young girls to pursue STEM. So, the first book is about circuits, and the second book is about energy conversion. So, taking like energy from the sun, for example, and how that can be used in solar panels and enter your house.
That's incredible. I can't say that when I was a senior in college, I was publishing books. So that is incredible. Now, when you were, let's say there's a female watching this right now and she's in middle school, did you ever think, I'm going to get into a STEM related field when I'm older? What
So
led you to this?
I was actually, so when I was like 7 years old, my parents gave me this Snap Circuits Junior kit. And I think that really kick-started my interest in STEM. So for those of you who may not be familiar with Snap Circuits, it's kind of like a Lego, but like circuit Legos. So you can make like a fan spin or a light bulb turn on by connecting pieces. And then also when I was growing up, my grandpa, he was so like he retired when I was little, but like he would be considered now like a computer engineer. So he worked on like big mainframes like from the 80s and 90s, like so like really big like computers before they got smaller. Um and stuff like that. So he always like just hearing his stories kind of inspired me to pursue STEM as well.
Wow, that's awesome that since like the mentoring and the role models that you had, we talk a lot with teachers about the importance of modeling for their young students as well and the earlier exposure. What's your plans for the future in STEM?
So after graduation, I'll be joining Accenture's security team in New York City. And so what I'll be doing is helping businesses defend against cyber threats. So cybersecurity consulting.
We have a student that graduated from Lycoming as well that does cybersecurity now, and it's just fascinating. We're looking next fall to highlight cybersecurity, so we'll be sure to have you back with us, hopefully, if you have some time in the busy New York City world to talk about really what that entails. So, what intrigues you most about the world of STEM?
I love that it's always changing and there's always new technology available. And I know there's always more to learn about all different subjects, but especially STEM, I feel like there's just new stuff that you can always learn more about. And I just love that with STEM, you can help like solve problems. Well, especially for engineering, like help solve problems people have in everyday lives and help improve their lives. And I just also love problem solving, which is really a big component of STEM.
Right. And that's something that we are really working with heavily with educators, with students. Having that problem solving skill is so important right now. Um, so important. And can you tell me what would you say to those females out there who are interested possibly in the STEM field?
I would say definitely like talk to your teachers about STEM. Like if you have a science teacher or math teacher or engineering teacher that you really click with, or even if you don't click with them, like stay after school, ask them questions, ask them more about like what they did to want to become a teacher in that field and other things that that area entails.
Right. And what about those that are sort of nervous to jump in? I know, like, we're not trying to be, we're not sexist or anything like that. But, STEM is not necessarily looked at as female field, right? And now we're trying to get more and more females involved with it. And so some females might be thinking, well, I don't know if this is for me, but they actually are interested. What would you tell them?
Honestly, I would tell them the same thing, like ask questions to your teachers. If maybe like your parents have a friend who's in a STEM field, ask them, or if you know someone in college or anything like that, like definitely ask the questions. If a certain area interests you, do some hands-on activities in that area. Like for electrical engineering, there are these devices called like Arduinos and Raspberry Pis that are really great for hands-on experience.
Yeah, the Arduinos we worked with the other day, or last year, we worked with Arduinos, not the other day. It almost feels like the other day, but we worked with Arduinos last year, and they're fascinating. Everything, it's just when I was growing up, not that that was like so long ago, but we never had those experiences. And it's so cool to see the just the technology and everything that's at our students and our future, like they're our future, their fingertips. So if I'm a middle school student or even a high school student, like where do I even start? How did you know what classes to take? I mean, you're at Bucknell. That's a very amazing, like it's a great university. Like how did you know where to go? What to do?
So I was really lucky in high school. I fell in love with circuits during my physics class my junior year, and I would stay after with my teacher. And as it turned out, he was an electrical engineer, and he suggested to me to go into electrical engineering because I did have this fascination with circuits. But for those students out there who aren't sure like where to start, I would say like just get your hands dirty. There are some really user friendly resources out there. I actually started an Instagram account called the STEM Diaries where I have captions that explain different STEM topics. So I think today I did something about cybersecurity and I talked about like a man in the middle attack, which is a attack that hackers use to gain information. But I would say definitely look into some of the resources out there that are geared towards basic introductions, just to get a little bit of exposure and something might stick.
Great. And last question. Well, I might throw a curveball in on you, but the last one so far, second to last. What is like the best piece of advice if you like an educator or maybe a parent, caregiver, friend gave you when you were thinking about your future and your careers?
Yeah, so my mom always told me like don't give up, like you're going to have bad tests or bad homeworks, but that doesn't define you. Like you have to keep pushing through, and it's really like when you go through education it's all about learning and not so much like if you get hundreds on everything. Like I had a professor my sophomore year at school and he never gave us like homework or tests. He said at the end of the semester I'm going to grade you just based on how much you've learned and how much you've grown as a student. So I think that philosophy is just something to take with you even like outside of school, like just in life. Just keep learning and keep chugging along.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that is such a mindset, especially even a STEM mindset, right? Like the perseverance, the resiliency, the idea of it's about learning. It's not about, if you get it right in, 5 seconds or, there's not really a right path. If you can find the way, I mean, obviously you want the efficient way, but all about the experiment, right? So there's one last question that I want to ask you real quick. If I'm a caregiver, parent, after school provider, grandparent, and I have a child at home and I'm thinking, I'm watching this, how do I support my students in STEM? Like I was never raised with STEM. What advice would you give? I know you're not a parent. I know you're not, but you do support and care for our younger generation and especially females in STEM. What would you say to us?
So I would say girls, I think girls especially, like if they see another woman in STEM, in a STEM field, I think seeing if they can see it then they can do it sort of mindset. So like exposing them to like speakers, like maybe at your local library there's a women in STEM speaking, like take your child to see that, even if they're really young, like it'll definitely make an impact. Um, yeah, doing hands-on activities, like maybe as a birthday present or a Christmas present, just like throw in some like educational STEM toy or something.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe one day that author is going to be you. Like maybe you'll be at our local library talking.
that'd be awesome.
Right, right. So, Emily, I want to thank you so much. And if our young females would like to connect with you, you did mention your book series, the STEM Diaries, correct? And we'll link that for our females here or males. Maybe some males are watching it too, but the STEM Diaries, and they can follow on Instagram as well, your stories for the STEM Diaries, correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Any last minute things you would like to say to the girls out there?
Um, just like pursue your dreams honestly, and there are going to be bumps along the way, but keep pushing through and things will work out.
Right. Thank you. And on behalf of Blast Intermediate Unit 17, we want to thank you for participating with us in Girls in STEM. And we look forward to following your journey and your future endeavors. Best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.